You're live.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the December 21st, 2021 business meeting of the Indiana Gaming Commission. First, we'll call the meeting to order. It's my pleasure to call the meeting to order. And Greg, would you read the roll of the commissioners?
Absolutely, Mr.
Good
Chair.
afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the December 21st, 2021
You're live.
business meeting.
Chairman remains.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the December 21st, 2000.
Chairman McMains,
Present.
Vice Chair Fine. Muted.
You're muted, Mark.
Yeah, present, sorry. Present, yep.
Secretary Dudich,
Present.
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Cohen,
Present.
Commissioner Hausman,
Present.
Commissioner Root.
Present.
All accounted for. This is the chair. We're going to pause for 1 second. It appears Chairman McMains may have dropped off. As soon as she gets back on, we'll continue with the meeting.
I'm sorry, I had a little technical issue there. Am I back online, Greg?
Yes, you are, Chair.
Okay, so I believe all the commissioners are present. Was that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Now for the approval of the minutes for the last meeting, November 17th, 2021. Commissioners, have you had a chance to review those minutes? Yes, and if so, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as written? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minute.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the November 17, 2021 meeting of the Indiana Gaming Commission. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Greg?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I do want to say I already failed on my first task, which was the court reporter wanting me to request that you identify yourself by name before you make a motion or second. So if you could please do that, that would help with the record. And I apologize, I should have said that previously.
And for the record, I think it was Susan who moved to approve the minutes and Jason who seconded. Is that correct? Thank you.
I'll start with the staff update. Jeremy Berkey is a new gaming agent who started on December 6th and has been assigned to Hoosier Park Casino. Jerry brings with him over 37 years in law enforcement experience with the Indiana State Police. Jerry possesses a Bachelor of Science in Public Affairs, in addition to being a graduate of the FBI National Academy and Northwestern University School of Policy and Police Command. Next, we have Lloyd Hawkins, who is also a new gaming agent starting on December 6th. He will be assigned to Indiana Grand Casino. Lloyd brings with him over 20 years of law enforcement experience working for the city of Bloomington, the town of Ellettsville, and also the IU Health Bloomington Hospital. Lloyd possesses a Bachelor of Science from Vincennes University in Homeland Security and Public Safety. He is also working on a master's degree from IUPUI in Criminal Justice and Public Safety. Next is Zachary Robinson, who will be a new gaming agent, also starting on December 6th. Zachary has been assigned to the Caesars Southern Casino. Zachary brings over 3 years of law enforcement experience with the Harrison County Sheriff's Department. Zachary possesses a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice and is currently studying to receive his master's degree from Indiana University and will be in Criminal Justice with an emphasis on public safety. Jason Morgan will be starting as an agent, or started on an agent on December 6th as well. Jason has been assigned to Horseshoe Hammond Casino. Jason brings over 20 years of law enforcement experience working for the Dyer Police Department. Jason possesses a bachelor's degree in political science with a minor in criminal justice from Purdue University. Next, we have Julie Snell, a new gaming agent starting on the 13th of December. Julie has been assigned to Bally's Casino in Evansville. Julie brings over 25 years of experience with Indiana State Police, most recently in field intelligence. Julie possesses a bachelor's degree from Indiana University in criminal justice. Mark Selfane is an agent who started on December 13th. Mark has over 35 years of law enforcement experience. He came to us from Indiana State Police and served as a district investigations commander for ISP. Mark has a bachelor's degree of science in criminal justice and criminology from Ball State University. Mark is also working toward his master's degree in executive development and public service. David Seaver is a gaming agent who began on December 13th. David has been assigned to the Horseshoe Hammond Casino. David brings over 25 years of law enforcement experience with the Chicago Police Department. David possesses a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Bob Jones University in South Carolina. And finally, we welcome Chris Watson. He became our new IT Assistant Director on December 13th. Chris brings with him over 20 years of experience in IT in developing and supporting customer applications and processes. Most recently, Chris worked for the federal sector as a database administrator. We are excited to have Chris aboard and look forward to working with him, and we want to welcome all of our new employees to the Commission. Moving on to reinvestigations. Our investigations division has completed a reinvestigation for the following licensee, Interblock DD. The confidential report is in your materials. Director Brown is also present should you have any questions. The IGC has added 3 individuals to the statewide exclusion list since the September 2021 meeting. The total of individuals on that list now stands at 906. The IGC has also granted 4 waivers to Indiana casinos since the previous meeting. This information is included in your materials and will be posted on the Commission's website. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions for Greg, Commissioners? Hearing none, should we administer the oath, Greg?
Yes, Chairman McMains, we submitted oaths to be completed by all that we're going to address the Commission, and those have been provided, and we will keep those on file.
Wonderful, thank you. Any items of old business to come before the Commission today? Hearing none, items of new business. Dustin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Order 2021-197 is before you, and it involves an ownership transfer request between supplier licensee Interblock DD and IB OCM VoteCo. Along with this order, you should have Order 2021-198 involving an ownership transfer between vendor licensee Smarkets Holdings USA Inc. and Susquehanna Growth Equity Fund 6. After receiving the respective transfer applications, the Commission completed a background and financial investigation of each transferee, finding that both were substantially compliant with Indiana statutes and regulations, and finding no derogatory information that would affect the transferee's suitability for holding the interest in Interblock and Smarkets respectively. Approving orders 2021-197 and 198 would have the effect of approving these 2 ownership transfer requests. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dustin. Commissioners, any questions for Dustin regarding the proposed orders? Hearing none, what is your pleasure, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, Jason Dudich, I recommend or make a motion to approve order number 2021-197 and order number 2021-198 as presented by staff.
Mr. Chairman, this is Susan, second.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's been probably moved and seconded to approve orders 2021-197 and 198. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Alex, I think you're up.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. You have before you orders 2021-199 through 204 concerning the petitions for removal from the exclusion list of Troy Johnson, Scott Magaha, Jacob Mills, Delone Garner, Brandon Mullins, and Timothy Wong. Petitioners have been placed on the exclusion list for over 3 years and have petitioned to be removed from the exclusion list. Telephonic hearings were conducted at which each provided support for their petitions. Based on the totality of the factors relevant in these matters, the reviewing officer has concluded that all petitioners have met the standard of clear and convincing evidence as reflected in staff's findings of fact and recommendation. Adopting staff's findings and recommendations would have the effect of granting petitioners petitions for removal from the statewide exclusion list. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Council. Commissioners, any questions for Alex? Hearing none, what is your pleasure concerning proposed orders 2021-199 through 204?
Mr. Chairman, Jason Dudich, I would make a motion that the commission approve orders 2021-199 through 2021-204 as presented by staff.
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's been probably moved and seconded to approve orders 2021-199 through 2021-204. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Robert.
You're muted, Bob.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. First, you have before you order 2021-205, pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-33-7-8 and 68 IAC Section 2-2-8. A supplier's license must be renewed each year, along with a payment of $7,500 for the renewal fee. Each of the following licensees has submitted a timely request for renewal along with that required payment. Aristocrat Technologies Incorporated, American Gaming Systems LLC, SB Tech Malta Limited, and United Tote Company. Approving Order 2021-205 would have the effect of renewing the licenses of each of those licensees for a period of 1 year. Next on the agenda, you have before you orders 2021-206 through 2021-209 regarding the renewal of 4 casino owner licensees: Belterra Casino, Caesar Southern Casino, Bally's Evansville Casino, and Hollywood Casino. All 4 of these licensees have filed the proper paperwork and paid their renewal fee. Previously, the Commission had approved the written powers of attorney for these 4 casino licensees. However, these approvals expire upon the renewal of the casino owners' licenses. For that reason, all casinos must request renewal of the Commission's approval of their written powers of attorney concurrently with the request for renewal, or they must present the Commission with a new written power of attorney, naming a new trustee in waiting. All 4 of these casino licensees have stated their intent to maintain their existing trustees in waiting and have not presented the Commission with any modifications to their powers of attorney. Approving orders 2021-206 through 2021-209 would have the effect of renewing the license and approving the powers of attorney for Belterra, Caesar Southern, Bally's Evansville, and Hollywood for a period of 1 year. I'll move on to the next renewals. Next, you have before you order 2021-210. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-38-6-6, a vendor's license must be renewed each year along with a payment of $50,000. Each of the following vendor licensees has submitted a timely request for renewal along with the required payment. American Wagering Incorporated for its arrangement with Caesar Southern. American Wagering Incorporated for its arrangement with Horseshoe Hammond, and Churchill Downs Interactive Gaming, LLC. Approving Order 2021-210 would have the effect of renewing the vendor licenses of each of those respective licensees for a period of 1 year. Next, you have before you Order 2021-211. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-38-8-1, a certificate of authority to conduct sports wagering must be renewed each year, along with a payment of $50,000 for the renewal fee. Rising Star Casino has submitted a timely request for renewal of its certificate of authority, along with the required payment. Approving Order 2021-211 would have the effect of renewing that certificate of authority for a period of 1 year. Finally, you have before you Order 2021-212. Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-33-24-15 and 68 IAC Section 26-3-10, a paid fantasy sports operator license must be renewed each year along with a payment of $5,000. Yahoo Fantasy Sports LLC has submitted a timely request for renewal along with that required payment. Approving Order 2021-212 would have the effect of renewing the license of Yahoo Fantasy Sports for a period of 1 year. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Robert. Commissioners, any questions for Robert? Hearing none, what is your pleasure concerning proposed orders 2021-205 through 212?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I move for approval of orders 2021-205 through order 2021-212.
Second, Mr. Chairman, Susan Williams.
Thank you, Commissioners. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve orders 2021-205 through 2021-212. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Danielle.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Executive Staff. Order 2021-213 will approve the permanent sports wagering vendor license for Unibet Indiana, LLC. Unibet Indiana and its key persons have submitted the required applications and received temporary licenses issued by the IGC. Commission staff conducted a background and financial investigation on Unibet, along with its substantial owners and key persons. Commission staff found no material derogatory information that would affect suitability for the applicant. Staff's final report has been provided in the confidential commission meeting documents. Approving Order 2021-213 will grant the permanent sports wagering vendor license to Unibet Indiana, LLC, subject to yearly annual renewal. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for Danielle? Hearing none, what is your pleasure concerning proposed order 2021-213?
Mr. Chairman, Jason Dudich, I would make a motion for the approval of Order 2021-213 as presented by staff.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I second that motion. Susan.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve order 2021-213. Any discussion on the motion, Commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Angela, you're up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Executive Staff. You have before you a settlement agreement concerning disciplinary action against Boyd Gaming Corporation. Order 2021-214 is a settlement agreement with Boyd Gaming Corporation totaling $150,000. Relevant details have been provided in your meeting materials. Details on the settlement agreement will also be available on the Commission's website following the meeting. Mr. Chair, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Angela. Commissioners, any question for Angela regarding the proposed order? Hearing none, what is your pleasure regarding proposed order 2021-214?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the commission adopt 2021-214 as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams.
This is Jason Dudich. I'll second.
Thank you, sir. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve order 2021-214. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Alex, you're back up.
Commissioners, you have before you order 2021-215. This order concerns a settlement agreement entered into by the Commission and Indiana Sports Gaming LLC doing business as Bet Indiana. In January of 2020, Bet Indiana was granted a temporary sports wagering vendor license. Since that time, however, Bet Indiana has failed to employ key persons necessary to maintain a vendor license and lacks certain sports wagering operator fundamentals. In December of 2021, the Commission staff and Bet Indiana reached a settlement agreement. Per the agreement, the parties agreed to a suspension of Bet Indiana's temporary license. Bet Indiana also has until February 1st, 2022 to provide the Commission with myriad items which are outlined in the settlement agreement or face the possibility of further disciplinary action, including but not limited to revocation of its temporary license. Approving Order 2021-215 ratifies the settlement agreement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alex. Any questions, Commissioners, for Alex? Hearing none, what is your pleasure concerning Order 2021-215?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Order 2021-215.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams.
Mr. Chairman, Chuck Cohen, I second.
Thank you, sir. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve Order 2021-215. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Robert.
Yes, good afternoon again, Commissioners. Next, I would like to turn your attention to matters involving occupational licensees of the Commission. First, you have before you Order 2021-216 regarding a felony waiver application submitted by Paul Salerno. After the application was received, a hearing was conducted and the review officer prepared a finding of fact and recommendation. Approving Order 2021-216 would have the effect of adopting the review officer's finding of fact and recommendation and approve Mr. Salerno's felony waiver request.
Thank you, Robert. Any questions for Robert? Hearing none, Commissioners, what is your pleasure regarding Order 2021-216?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I move for approval of Order 2021-216.
Thanks, sir.
Second, Susan.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve Order 2021-216. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Next, you have before you Orders 2021-217 and 2021-218. These orders concern applications for occupational licensees to work for Indiana, for occupational licenses to work for Indiana licensees. With regards to these orders, each applicant failed to disclose his or her complete criminal history, thus failing to meet the established standards for licensure. Each applicant was given an opportunity to withdraw his or her application for licensure from consideration, but they failed to do so. Detailed information regarding these orders is contained in your confidential commission materials. Approving orders 2021-217 and 2021-218 would have the effect of denying these applications for occupational licenses. Finally, you have before you orders 2021-219 through 2021-225. These orders concern settlement agreements between commission staff and occupational licensees. In lieu of disciplinary action, commission staff offered each of these licensees a settlement agreement that would have them agree to an unpaid voluntary relinquishment of their occupational license for a period of regularly scheduled working days, with no vacation or other paid time off to be used. Each of these licensees has agreed to the terms of the settlement agreements. Detailed information regarding each of these matters is contained in the confidential materials that have been provided to you. Approving orders 2021-219 through 2021-225 would have the effect of ratifying the agreements with these occupational licensees.
Thank you, Robert. Commissioners, any questions for Robert regarding proposed orders 2021-217 through 2021-225? Hearing none, Commissioners, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I move for approval of orders 2021-217 through order 2021-225.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, Chuck Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. I gather you second. I think I may have stepped on you there. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I second.
So properly moved and seconded to approve orders 2021-217 through 2021-225. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Dustin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, you have before you orders 2021-226 and 2021-227 concerning two separate requests received from casino licensees Spectacle Gary Holdings LLC and Boyd Gaming Corporation, whereby both casinos requested approval of a proposed financing transaction. In addition to seeking permission to act on the proposed financial transactions, both casino licensees also requested a waiver of 68 IAC's so-called two-meeting requirement in accordance with the Commission's authority contained in Resolution 2017-109. The confidential details of each of the proposed financial transactions, as well as Commission staff's analysis, were provided to the Commissioners in their confidential materials. In accordance with the procedures identified in Resolution 2017-109, each casino licensee was issued an interim approval for their proposed financing transactions. The interim approvals for each casino licensee contain the following conditions. First, the terms articulated in the final financing documentation do not materially differ from the terms that were presented in writing for approval. Second, the terms in the final documentation do not violate IC 433 or 435. Third, each casino licensee must provide the Commission with a legal opinion demonstrating compliance with IC 433 and 435. And finally, each casino licensee must close on the respective financing transaction by certain dates. Resolution 2017-109 requires that any interim financing approval that is issued must be reported to the Commission for consideration and final ratification or other direction at the next Commission meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dustin. Any questions for Dustin, Commissioners? Hearing none, what is your pleasure concerning orders 2021-226 and 227?
Mr. Chairman, Jason Dudich, I would move for approval of order 2021-226 and 2021-227 as presented by staff.
Thank you, Commissioner
Chairman,
Dudas. Is there a second?
Darren Root, I would second.
Thank you, Mr. Root. It's been probably moved and seconded to approve orders 2021-226 and 2021-227. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Dennis.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I think Executive Director Small has some comments before I present Order 2021-228 to you all. So I'll kick it over to him.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. We've had some developments in the Vigo County casino license, so I thought it was appropriate to get some comments to the commissioners and to the public in general before Dennis starts here. First off, obviously, we're very happy to announce that the IGC and Lucy Luck Gaming have agreed to a settlement, which will be before the commissioners here momentarily. While the IGC is confident we would have prevailed in the matter, doing so would have taken months, if not years, of litigation. This settlement allows the IGC to avoid the legal cost of continuing the litigation, and with the selection of a new applicant for the Vigo County license, this new licensee will be obligated to pay an additional statutory $5 million license fee, so the state will be able to replace the funds expended to settle this matter. Removal of this obstacle is a step forward toward realizing the benefits of a successful casino for Vigo County. Now, unfortunately, the bad news. At approximately 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon, the commission received Full House's complaint, which was filed in Marion County, and separately an administrative appeal. Because these filings arrived late in the day and staff had not had ample opportunity to review and evaluate, there was a consideration of pulling the issuance of the license from the agenda. However, we decided to move forward with that. It is the commission policy that we do not discuss pending litigation. However, I do believe some general statements are necessary here. First and foremost, the commission conducted a fair and transparent process focused on maximizing the potential for a successful casino project in Vigo County. The commission conducted due diligence to ensure that its process was proper and conducted in accordance with all applicable laws, including vetting the process in advance with the public access counselor. After receiving full consideration in accord with all legal requirements, Full House was not selected for the casino license in Vigo County. Full House left that day as one of 3 disappointed applicants, a fact all the participants were aware of, as only one applicant could be selected for the license. It's disappointing that a company held to high standards of character and integrity would make such claims against the commission. These suits could potentially stall the project yet again, potentially costing the state and Vigo County tens of millions of dollars in lost economic benefit. Indiana's casino law was meant to promote the economic interest of the state. This license was authorized by a 2019 bill, and here we are in late December of 2021, and a shovel has not been put in the ground in Vigo County. To say that we are frustrated by this fact would be a great understatement. We believe Full House's claims are meritless, and we will respond accordingly. The IGC continues to focus upon seeing this important economic development project in Vigo County to fruition, and we will continue to work to that end. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Well said.
Well, Commissioners, with that, before you is Order 2021-228, which is an order that would approve the settlement agreement that Executive Director Small just described to you, including all the relevant terms. If you have any other questions regarding that order, we're happy to answer them.
Commissioners, I had a comment that I'd like to share for the public concerning Lucy Luck and Mr. Greg Gibson. I understand this was difficult, and clearly Mr. Gibson and Lucy Luck put the interest of their community above their own personal interest in reaching this settlement, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Commissioners, any other comments about the proposed settlement agreement? Hearing none, what is your pleasure regarding proposed order 2021-228?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I move for approval of order 2021-228.
This is
Sir.
Jason.
Mr. Chairman, Chuck.
Thank you, gentlemen. We've Commissioner Dudich and Commissioner Cohen both seconded the motion. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, would you like to discuss this matter of Full House's complaint, or should we go ahead and proceed with this motion first and then share your thoughts about that? Dennis, why don't you present your motion?
Yes, Commissioners. So the motion is before you is 2021-229, which would issue a casino owner's license to Churchill Downs. That order would be subject to the same conditions that the certificate of suitability included, and including the $5 million payment upon issuance of the license. As additional conditions of that order, the license would be deemed issued upon Judge Gamboa issuing an order dismissing the Lucy Luck gaming matter with prejudice, as described in the settlement agreement that you all just approved in 2021-228. As an additional condition to the order, the petition for review that Executive Director Small described included a request for a stay of the issuance of the Vigo County casino license subject to IC Article 4-21(5). So the order would be conditioned on a judicial finding that that stay is inapplicable to that license. We're happy to answer any additional questions at that time.
Thank you, Dustin. Commissioners, any questions or comments concerning this matter?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Dudich.
Thank you. I do want to echo Executive Director Small's comments. This was my first time going through this process of issuing a license in this manner, and being on the outside, I understand that it's a deliberative and very specific process that the commission goes through, and now I've experienced on it from the inside, and a lot of discussion, a lot of dialogue about this, the impact that it has to Indiana, the benefit it has to Vigo County and to Terre Haute. But I continue to echo what I've always said in these meetings is these licenses are ways that the state can improve its revenue and improve economic development, workforce, et cetera. And we think a lot about the right person and the right operator and the right fit for Indiana and the community. And it's not a decision that we take lightly. We spend a lot of time reading and understanding the applicants, asking questions during a public process, and making a decision that's in the best interest of Indiana and its citizens. So I would echo Executive Director Small's comments. It's a little frustrating that we went through this process, and this is kind of what we're seeing on the back end from one of the three operators that was not selected. So I appreciate Executive Director Small's comments. I am confident in the process that we took as a commission in selecting the operator for the Vigo County license. And it is a decision that the commission made in its judgment as to what was best for Indiana. And these kind of legal actions, as we've seen before, have slowed down the opportunity for growth in Indiana from an economic development, workforce, and revenue standpoint. So I am very happy to move forward with this, granting licensure at Churchill and moving forward with this project. It's been well overdue, and to quote Commissioner Fine, the winner is always going to be Terre-Haute and Vigo County, and we need to move forward and continue to give Vigo County and Terre Haute what they've been waiting for quite some time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dudich.
Mr. Chairman, a few years back, I was involved in some relatively high stakes competitive contracts on behalf of the state of Indiana. And there's much in common with what happened then and our recent selection process. And I was struck by two key factors as I was reflecting back on my days at the Building Commission and then now on the Gaming Commission. The two key similarities that I experienced firsthand was that the process was impeccable, very carefully conducted with legal, the state's legal experts advising us, outside counsel advising us. And that was very careful, and it was very precious to that commission that I served on then and this commission now. And the second is that when the selection was made, there were one or two or three unsuccessful parties who were very unhappy. And they expressed that unhappiness in a variety of ways. But it's understandable, there's a lot of emotion, money, and so forth spent, but the process is the process, and there can only be one winner. And so as I reflect on all the things that Greg said, I would say that my comfort level with the way this was conducted and my comfort level with the integrity of the process is such that I'm going to support moving forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, any further comments? Well, with respect, I would like to candidly speak to Full House. I've always held Full House in high regard. As you know, I'm actually the person that on our commission, Mike McMains, that made the motion to grant the application for Vigo County to Full House, and I voted for it. As I sit here today, I believe I may have made a mistake. Important criteria that we consider when granting gaming licenses to licensees in the state of Indiana, based on Indiana law, is their character, their integrity, their reputation, their behavior. And frankly, this action of filing this complaint, these complaints, can only be viewed by me as sour grapes. I think it's vindictive. It's malicious. I think it's frivolous. I'm embarrassed for Full House for having done this. And the other question that comes to my mind, I thought a lot about this last several hours, is what does Full House hope to accomplish? Do you really think the commission, Indiana Gaming Commission, is going to change their mind because you file a complaint? I mean, you've heard comments from other commissioners. I rather doubt that's going to happen. So what is the outcome of proceeding down this path? Well, Executive Director Small talked about that. It's potentially very costly to the state of Indiana. And most importantly, it seems to me it's very costly to the community of the greater Vigo County population of our state, the west central part of Indiana. Those folks have waited a long time for this wonderful economic development project. And this is simply, it seems to me, a delay tactic, and it's hurtful to them. It will not prevail. We will not prevail. And respectfully, I hope that you will reconsider this action. I think it's inappropriate, and it's not in keeping with the reputation that I have always garnered for your company. For the people of Eagle County, I will tell you this, and you've heard other commissioners address this, we are committed to help bring this wonderful economic development package to your community as quickly as we possibly can. And we will continue to work in that fashion. Thank you, folks. Any other comments, ladies and gentlemen? Hearing none, what is your pleasure, Commission, regarding proposed order 2021-229?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Fine. I move for approval of order 2021-229.
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Fine and Commissioner Williams. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve order 221-229. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Commissioners. I wanted to take a moment and have our end of the year meeting here, comment and speak a little bit to the Commission, my fellow Commissioners, and to our staff. This has been a difficult year. It's been a difficult year for a lot of Hoosiers and for a lot of reasons, but I recognize that our Commission and our staff has done a lot of heavy lifting. And I thank you, and I sincerely appreciate your service to our state. Is there any other business to come before the meeting today? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Jason Dudich.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.